Radical.
I was checking out Nintendo's earnings, and let's just say they're doing great. They're doing amazing. The Switch 2, even though so many YouTubers assured us that it wouldn't sell that great because of the decisions that Nintendo made, the fact that it was, expensive, more expensive than the original Switch, the fact that the games would be $80 for the Mario and the Zelda games going forward, they said Nintendo, they just made the wrong decisions. And people would stop buying Nintendo systems. I don't know how many of you believe that, but that's not the case. Okay? You do not understand Nintendo fans. Nintendo fans will go to the bat every single time for Nintendo. They will defend anything they do that's anti-consumer because they love their Pokemons. They love the Zeldas. They love the Marios. They will stand and shout on the mountain as loud as they fucking can that Nintendo makes the best first-party games and is the best place to play. This and that and this and that. It doesn't matter what they do to the consumer. It doesn't matter what they price their items. Nintendo fanboys will keep on fanboying for Nintendo. But here's some good news. So, I talked a while back whenever the orange man, the orange guy, the Trump, that dude, that fella, that he had this idea about the tariffs. He thought what he was going to do is he was going to just apply tariffs to pretty much everybody that America trades with. Because, well, I really don't even know what he was thinking. But the idea was, hey, America's going to make so much money from the tariffs. It's going to be easy money that they're going to make, and everyone's going to be happy. Well, it turns out, when this happens, when the tariffs are put into place, it makes things more expensive for the people that are buying things from the countries that are being tariffed. Most people understand this as a Trump tax. It is a Trump tax on the American people. And I just don't understand the defense for these tariffs. Much like I can't understand the defense for Nintendo and the anti-consumer decisions they continue to make, I don't understand the people that are defending the tariffs. Oh, just take the pain momentarily, but trust me, the tariffs are for a good cause. What is the good cause in paying more for just about every one of your daily items, your essentials, your groceries, your electronics? Please tell me what the positive part is for that. Because much of this shit is not going to be produced in America, all right? America is not going to be making these Nintendo Switches, okay? So that whole fantasy that you're going to bring all these jobs back to America, it's just a pipe dream, much like the pipes Mario goes up and down in the Vigi games. But there's some great news. Nintendo, I've looked at their numbers, and they've been incredibly profitable. They are making so much money from the Switch 2. It is selling it's selling so good. It is selling so good and is proven wrong all these YouTubers that were saying gloom and doom, and they were wrongly guessing that everybody would look at what Nintendo was doing, the pricing, the fact that they have these key cards that are, getting in the way of all these wonderful collections Nintendo fanboys, and, well, not just fanboys, but the regular fans have. The key cards, the pricings, the fact that they're actually bricking some systems if you get a used one, and there's something called the MIG switch or something like that. But no, it's doing great. The Switch 2 is doing great. Nintendo's profits are actually better than they even projected. So the good news is, even though the Orange Man has decided to have new tariffs, I don't know what the hell he's doing. The fact he's decided to have new tariffs is, it doesn't matter. you see. Because Nintendo, they are choosing not to raise the price of anything, any of their products. And they had a statement that they understand that the market conditions have changed a bit. But baby, we're doing great. We're doing amazing. Thank you to all the loyal Nintendo fans that showed up and bought the Switch 2 and continue to buy our games and support us in the future. So for you fans out there, doesn't matter what the orange man, well, they didn't say that, doesn't matter what happens with market conditions, we are going to stick to keeping the pricing on our Switch items just what they, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. These greedy ass motherfuckers, these greedy sons of bitches, these people, like I said, that are making money hand over fist, making money like you would not fucking believe, is taking this moment to use the tariffs as an excuse to raise prices on the Switch 2. No, wait. Not the Switch 2. Switch 2 is not getting raised up. So you might say, Rick, that's good news. So what's the bad news? The bad news is these greedy motherfuckers have hit another milestone. First, it was the regular pricing for their main first-party games at, I still can't believe this, $80. $80 for Mario Kart and the big Switch 2 games coming up in the future that are the first-party Nintendo games. Still can't believe that shit. But no, it's another industry first. Nintendo is the first ever company to raise the price of their old system after the new one is out. You heard that correctly. They're raising prices on the Switch 1. That's about a decade fucking old now. Just when you thought Nintendo couldn't get any greedier, they prove you wrong. And of course, they have a statement on their website. It says, due to market condition, we're raising the price. But it doesn't tell you the prices that are being raised. If you want information on the Nintendo website, no, you don't get that information. They just tell you in a little statement that they're raising the price due to market conditions. So the Switch regular edition, I don't have it right in front of me. I believe the Switch regular, that's $299.99, goes to $330 or $340. The Switch Lite, which is the shitty version of the Switch, the only handheld version, the economy version, it goes from $200 to $230. It's not even free from this price raise. You think they would have the decency to not raise the price on the shitty version of the Switch. But this is Nintendo, all right? And the OLED Switch goes from $350 to $400 for the OLED Switch. Oh man, wow. This is crazy. This is possibly the greediest move a gaming company has ever made. It, like I said, is breaking new ground. Breaking new ground. Just when you think Nintendo couldn't get any shittier with the $80 game pricing just for regular first-party games, now we see that they're using this and doing this even though, like I said, their profits are insanely good. They could have took the hit. They could have said, hey, you know what? We're going to ride out these market conditions and we're not raising prices on anything right now. Thank you so much due to you people, you wonderful fans, buying so much of our stuff. Thank you so much. But no, that's what you fans get. So let's say, you wanted to get yourself a Switch 1 for whatever reason. Now you're looking at it like, well, damn. Why the fuck would I get an OLED Switch for $400, which is the nice version of the Switch with the nice screen, when I can get a Switch 2 for $450? Maybe this is a strategy also to make it seem like the $450 is really not that much to pay for a system. Like the $450, like that's a deal. I think it's really crazy if, let's say, it's a parent getting something get one they switch for the children's somebody's birthdays, Billy or Jimmy or Sally's birthday's coming up, and they go out and they don't know which to get, and they see the Switch 1, and they're thinking, well, obviously this is a $400 system. Nintendo's 2017 system, a decade-old system almost, is not going to be the one that's $400. No, you're wrong. Imagine how pissed off that parent would be. They'd be taking that shit back instantly like, what? I could have got the new one for $50 more? Talk about overvaluing your shit, Nintendo. Damn, that ancient-ass Switch 1. But it just doesn't stop there. The Joy-Cons that are somehow $80 fucking dollars. The Joy-Cons for the Switch 1. The ones that have the stick drift. Those, half of that's $40. That's crazy, man. The Joy-Cons are going up from $80 to $90. So it's almost a Benjamin to get a set of fucking Joy-Cons for the Switch 1. Like, damn. This is insane. I cannot believe it. I'm in shock. I shouldn't be in shock. It just comes down to what's the next move that Nintendo is going to make to fuck over their own customers. I just don't get you huge Nintendo fans at this point. I don't understand it anymore. Like, I can understand getting a Switch because you want to play the games. You like the Marios and the Zeldas, and yeah, a lot of them are quality, well-made games. But you got so many options now. Xbox, PlayStation, PC. Why, if you just, unless you are just totally dependent on playing Nintendo games, at this point, wouldn't you look elsewhere? But I want a great handheld device. Well, get yourself like a Steam Deck or something. Get a Steam Deck, get one of those systems. And you have a lot more flexibility on those systems versus a Switch. I just don't get it. I'll never understand it. But Nintendo, they really can do no wrong, I guess. They're emboldened by this because what's going to happen is people are still going to keep buying the Switch. Maybe. I don't know. People are stupid. They're fucking stupid. Or hopefully they won't. Hopefully they won't because it's an old system. It's the old system. Do you see Sony raising the price of the PlayStation 4? Do you see Xbox raising the price of the Xbox One? I mean, those systems, you can't even still get them on shelves anymore, right? So, the Switch is close to being basically just thrown off the shelf. That's the crazy thing about this. Raising prices on something right before they start taking off the shelf and replacing it with the Switch 2, which is backward compatible, is insane. It's nuts. Compare this to decades ago. The Dreamcast, the GameCube. When they were on their way out, they were priced down to $99.99 because they were on their way out the door. But Nintendo's just holding on like, hey, we got to get the last little bit of money off of these systems. Ha ha! Evil fucking Mario. What the hell, dude? Oh, and speaking of that guy, the Orange Man, that's doing these tariffs, that's the reason, supposedly, why Nintendo Switch 1s are more expensive. He's in a bit of hot water himself because there's these files, if you ever heard of them. The Epstein files. These files, pretty much everybody wants the names in these files released. The PDF files, you might say, in these files, people in America, they're just curious. They want to see how many elected politicians are in these files, how many celebrities, how many powerful people were on the Epstein Island. It was a big campaign promise that if elected, Trump would release these files and everyone who's in these files. That is until he was supposedly told that he's in the files. So, yeah. He even had, supposedly, FBI agents going through the Epstein files and redacting his name. So, yeah. Who knows what all the Orange Man's going to do to try to distract from that. More tariffs, maybe some tax cuts for American, some checks he'll send out. He might just start bribing the American people with some checks sending out to them to just get them to, hey, about these files. You guys, you losers. He actually did call people losers that wanted to know about the files. You losers, you need to shut the fuck up. I'm going to send you money. I'm literally going to send you some checks. Please just shut the fuck up, okay? You're not getting the files released. He's even talking to Epstein's wife, Ghislaine Maxwell, trying to get her to, I don't know what he's got some angles, man. He's got some angles. It's basically a straight up all cover up, okay? Not going to go into it full detail, but that's just something you need to know about this tariff guy that's doing the tariffs, is he's actually covering up. It's a huge cover up. He's covering up and trying to halt the release of these Epstein files. So, yeah, just wanted to squeeze that in there right there. So, when it comes to these tariffs, do you think this is the end of it for Nintendo? Do you think, and they kept the options open on their website, they basically had a statement, at this moment, we're not raising the price of the Switch 2. I wonder if they start selling out of the Switch 1s that are the price like that. Again, a lot of people at Nintendo are stupid. They still might buy the $400 OLED. After they sell those out, do you think they'll bump up the price of the Switch 2 to $500 or $550? Because of the tariffs? Who knows, man? I know they're emboldened right now because they're looking at the sales like, well, damn, we should have made this thing $600. These Nintendo fanboys would still buy this at $6 probably.